Hi, Diane. Hi, everyone. This is Shirley from Shirley's World Vlog, and I'm here this week. Uh, yes, I did put on a reminder for Alexa to remind me, although it was all fixed before she ever reminded me. So I knew tonight for sure I was coming here. Uh, yes, how are you, Diane? I'm so glad the snow went away. I think it's here by Sunday, it's supposed to be 60, 59 or 60. So, uh, Bruce, my lawnmower guy, called me today and he wants to get one more mow in. He hasn't mowed in weeks because it just wasn't growing. And, yeah, crazy weather. But he's coming tomorrow for the last mow, and it's a good time because everything's covered with leaves. So he'll mulch all the leaves for me on the grass, which is a good thing. I think he waits so long so that he can do that. You don't want all these leaves laying on the grass all winter. So he'll be here a long time tomorrow. One thing that snow did, that it was heavy and wet snow, all the leaves on my buckeye tree, and those are huge leaflets. They're like 4 or 5 leaves on one stem. They're big like this. Well, they all fell at once. My driveway is like a mattress of those leaves because the that buckeye tree is across the drive from here, and they all fell at once from that wet snow. And then we had a little bit of wind, not much, but all the leaves fell at once. The other ones have been falling all along. I bet this is Bumblebee. Let me see. Yep. Yes, she's you're watching on your phone. I guess I don't have to answer. You can see. Yeah, Bumblebee's here, but she can't talk because she's on her phone. And so she hears everything we're saying. We can say hi to her. uh, yes. Remember, I said I was knitting a hat. Well, the hat it kept looking so big, big around. I was knitting on round needles, which is the first time I've ever done that. I had no pattern. I had no idea how many stitches to put on in the first place, which was the big mistake. So once you put on so many stitches, that's how big your hat's going to be. Well, when it got to be, about this big, I actually tried it on my head. It went right over my head, down on my neck, and was as big as a scarf. So, yeah, that wasn't going to work. Hi, luxury handbag. Jane and Diane. Bumblebee is here. You just can't see her. Debbie's here. Ron's here. Luxury handbags is Yvonne. That's her name. Yes. Hi, everybody. So I actually ripped out a whole bunch of the hat, and I thought maybe that the rib, the cuff of it, because I was making a big cuff. I thought, well, maybe that could be just a scarf that you just put over your head. but it wasn't good. It's too thick or something. So what I'm going to do is I'll just leave it like it is until I need the yarn, and then I'll just use the yarn by, pulling it out of the hat. But that's that jumbo yarn, and I don't know what to make out of that except for hats. It doesn't make good scarves because it's just too thick. So I'm actually starting just a little, sort of a narrow scarf, like about this. I like the more narrow ones out of a much smaller yarn. I just started it. Yeah, a blanket. Yeah. Yeah, well, not in the shape it's in because it's round right now, like a hat. I'd have to start all over. Yeah, I have two skeins of it. Wouldn't make a very big blanket. A little lap pad, maybe. So, yeah. So I'm just doing the scarf for something to do with my hands during during the evening, because in the evening I can't paint. You need light. You need daylight to paint. I'd much rather paint, to tell you the truth. Uh, but I can crochet in the with the lights on. But you need the daylight to paint. At least I do. So yes, do any of you have hobbies? What's everybody's hobbies that they do? Uh, since I started with this watercolor painting, I really like it. I'll show you what I've done so far. They're just practice pieces, you know, but I brought them out here to show you, and you can tell me how I'm advancing. Because eventually I want to watching YouTube. Well, that's my hobby too. But I can watch YouTube while I paint. You craft wreaths? I used to do that. I've always been very crafty. I used to make wreaths. When I was in my Martha Stewart phase, way back, one Christmas, I made my own wrapping paper. I got like butcher wrap and I stamped. I even made my own stamps. Remember how they taught you in Girl Scouts to make stamps out of potatoes? Cut a potato in half and then you make your design in the potato. Who knows what I'm talking about here? You're crocheting when you're watching me. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, that's one nice thing about crocheting. I can crochet while I watch TV or something too. I like it better after I tried that hat with the knitting. Now, I used to knit, but I like crocheting better. Bree says sewing machines. Sewing makes small over the shoulder bags and shirts. Oh, that's your hobby. Sewing, making small over the shoulder bags and shirts. Yeah, Riri sews. I know that. Mm. Ah, you like to knit and crochet. Yeah. Jerry, do you knit or crochet? I've known a couple guys that when I was forget what I was in, whether it was the art league or whether it was I don't know, but I knew a couple people that knit. They knitted. You also have a monogram machine. Ah, you're still learning to use. You do Marketplace, Mercari, and eBay. Debbie, you should definitely start drawing and painting. Now, I used to do that all the time, so it's it's something that's coming back to me. Uh, yeah. I'm going to eventually end up painting what I used to paint, which is animals. But first I have to use because I wanna learn to do it in watercolor. It's much different. So, once I learn the technique and how this all works, how the paints react, I'll probably start painting probably dogs to begin with, or any animals I can get a good picture of. I used to do just wildlife, but I have sketched a lot of dogs, so probably dogs are my big love. So I'll probably try to learn to paint dogs, different breeds of dogs. Yes, I haven't sold much. I had one good day selling, which was last Sunday, and I put that ship with me on Monday. And after that, I think I had one more ship with me day, which I sold one thing. Uh, Now I have something I can do tomorrow. I sold something today on Poshmark. The others were all eBay. You have a long-haired chihuahua you can do. Well, once I get doing it, you can send me pictures. But I have to practice up first. You got a bid today. An offer or a bid? Do you have something on auction? Jane? Yahoos. Yahoos? Yahoos have an auction? Wait, Jan, okay, I was thinking about you when you're driving through Cleveland. Ah, you were in that whole flight cancellation thing? I'm sorry. That's just terrible. Right around Thanksgiving. You can't sell anything more on Poshmark. It's frustrating. I haven't been selling anything either on Poshmark. I had that one bundle last week. That's the most I've ever sold together, and, one thing this week so far. It's just slow. You finally sold your last item on Poshmark. Yes, very slow. Well, I haven't been listing either, so I can't really complain that hard. It's not like I'm working on this a lot. I'm trying to share and on Poshmark all the time. Well, my bot thing does that and sends offers out. And eBay, I haven't even in the last 2 days, I haven't even gone and done sell similar. So I can't really complain too much. I've been busy painting. Ah, if you have a lot, you should do the bulk sharing. On Poshmark, you mean? My list perfect, not list perfectly, but the one I have, Flip, not Flip either. Flip is the one that, what is the name of that? I have a bot that shares, that does the bulk sharing for me. It shares and it sends out offers to watchers. And it does my whole closet twice a day. I had it doing it 3 times a day, but when we were having that trouble with you couldn't even delete anything or people were getting kicked off, that sort of has gone away because I've been deleting everything that I've sold on eBay. I go and delete it on Poshmark and I've had no trouble. So I think they finally fixed that. You believe it's on Poshmark only, but I know if you have a lot, it takes. Mhm. Debbie, I'll have to look that up for sure how much it costs because I've forgotten. It comes off automatically, and once things are done automatically, I just forget about them. But I'll find that out for you. I'll find out the price. Yeah. It takes it took in the very beginning before they had this thing now, evidently they have something that makes it much easier to bulk share. When I started on Poshmark, you had to do it all individually. I did that for a few months. I forget how long I did it. Not that long. I don't even think I did it for a year. And I thought this just can't be because I had too many items to do that with. So that's when I went to the automatic one and held my breath. But everybody else was using them, so they couldn't kick everybody off. Poshmark keeps trying to get you to do promoted closet. Yes, of course. They try that with me too. Yeah. Yeah. That's how eBay started too with the promoted selling and then everybody you can pick your own percentage. On eBay, I just do a small amount, like 2 to 3% now. But now they've made it. It used to be only you only get charged if the person that looked at it due to the promoted closet or promoted listing, you'd only get charged then when you sold it. Now, it doesn't matter who looks at it. If somebody looks at it, it doesn't matter who buys it. You get charged, but you get charged when you sell it. Let's face it, the eBay and Poshmark are not gonna do anything that's gonna cost them a lot of money. We have to pay to be on those platforms. Well, let's see. It looks like I've made on Sunday with the amount I sold on Sunday, which wasn't all that. It looks like an Amazon big lit up truck out there, but it's not stopping at my house, which is rare. There's no fees on Depop. That's good. I'm wondering if Depop really becomes a bigger platform. I wonder how long before they'll start having fees. Let me show you what I've been painting. I started out with a very inexpensive pan of paint that I got at Hobby Lobby. And it had this many colors. I think there's 24 or 32, I'm not sure. 12, 24, 32. 32 colors. There's a couple that aren't on here and a couple you can see because they're too white down here. And then there's two up here I didn't put on. Those are the colors on the big pan paints. And it was so hard to tell what the colors were that's why I did this. So I can look at this. I can put this next to the pan of paints and I can see what the actual color is. Because in the pan, they just look, besides like the red and yellow and stuff like that, if they're dark, you can't tell what they are. So that's why I did that. And then I got a small little pan of paint from also Hobby Lobby. These aren't good paints. And that's these. But there's not a good green on any of these paints. Not a good green. You have to mix and mix to find out, to get a good, like, tree green or grass green, something very natural looking. So you have to mix all those colors. So if you want to do trees and things, you have to mix all the colors. So these are just practice sheets doing things. This is practice pine tree, different pine trees. This is practice on different petals of flowers. Flowers really, the kinds of brushes you have. And then I have loads of brushes. Because you think you have to have every brush, because they all do a little different. So, and they're not very expensive, the ones that aren't real professional ones. So then you get, you practice what the brushes do. And then you practice how water reacts. These are how the water reacts. When you have a wet, like this circle started out to be pink, and then you drop colors in, and it spreads like this. That's what makes watercolor so fun. This is just playing around with colors. I did sky and trees. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Nothing much. I was just practicing my pine trees and sky. Then I showed you my little, I did a tutorial. Somebody taught to do these 3 little sheep. And these little marks up here, that's done with salt on the wet paint. You sprinkle salt, and the salt makes the paint go like that. And it makes these little, they look like snowflakes almost. This is the closest I've gotten to animals yet. Jane sold a few things on Depop. Yeah. Do people sell clothes on Depop? Poshmark keeps trying you to do. Oh yeah, I read that. I know. I don't do promoted closet on Poshmark. Oh, more pine trees. Then I did a bigger trees, practicing my trees. I mean, who can't do a tree? It's practicing what the paint does. Then I did this sort of a scene with a meadow. This is not like I wanted it to turn out, though. And a fence and trees and mountains. It has everything in that, and sky. Oh. And I did mountains again with pine trees and water. This is the first I've done water. Sort of looks like water. And sort of foggy back here. Oh, here's what I did this today. Another tree. Sort of a crooked tree. These are all from tutorials that are on YouTube. Then I have this book this nice little book of watercolor paper, and I'm doing different kinds of leaves. And I sure have a lot on the ground outside for me to just go by. So here's these are both a yellow maple and a red maple. I just brought these leaves in and traced them. And heaven knows I have enough oak leaves and acorns. And then here's one I've drawn. Maybe you can't see. That is a small sassafras leaf. And that's a little leaf. You can't hardly see that. But I'm filling. I'm doing this book full of leaves and natural things. It's a cute little book. So that's what I've done so far. I have another little painting started, but it was starting to get dark and I couldn't see good. But it has a building in it. It's the first time I'm doing something with any kind of a structure. Yeah, definitely not, these aren't my ideas. These are tutorials that I'm going by on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of teachers on watercolor, acrylic, oil, everything. Anything you wanna learn, you can learn on YouTube. Not sure why Poshmark got rid of bulk share button. No cost to the seller. It was a wonderful option to keep your items circulating. See, I didn't even know that they got rid of that. Oh, it's now done individually? Well, I'm glad I didn't stop my sharing program then. I know Bumblebee told me about it when it first came out, that bulk share thing. I just am satisfied keeping things as they are at the moment because it's just not me that's not selling, it's everybody. So, and my things are sharing. I mean, every day I have 4 to 5,000 things sharing, not things, but times. I'm sorry about my hair. I missed my I canceled my appointment to get my hair cut. So my bangs are too long. I can't see, and I didn't know whether I was going to try to grow my bangs out, but they're getting really irritating because I can always shove the sides behind my ears. How do you grow bangs out? I don't know. I've always had bangs ever since I was little. I've never not had bangs. Can you hire an outside source to simply share your closet and not cross list? Yes. I have one company, if that's what you call them. I have one company that just shares, and I so wish I could think of the name. Let me just try to do this. I'm going to open another window. Just hold on there. I have to get this information. I'll do a new window. Okay. It's not going to tell me its name. Oh, that's irritating. All I have to do is push a button and it shows me what it's doing. Bumblebee, if you can hear me, what is the name of the one that shares? Not Flip. Flip is the one that I cross list with. FLIP. It's not very expensive to cross list, but the one that shares is more expensive. It seems to me it's like $144 every 6 months. That just comes to mind. So who knows what that is? But that sounds right. Posher VA. That's it, Diane. Thank you. Yes, Posher VA. That is the name of it, the one that shares for me. And I pay, it's not list perfectly. There's Bumblebee. It's not list perfectly. It's Posher VA. Yes. Bumblebee says that too. Yeah, Bumblebee. Diane knew that too. So Posher VA, it works really good, but it is costly. I mean, but when you think of what it's doing, and it'll go on and hunt down your oldest items and do that too. It'll relist for you. That's all comes with it. I have to tell it to do that. It has to be 60 days or older listings, and it'll go on and pick them out and relist them, whenever I tell it to. But automatically it does the sharing. I have it doing it twice a day, my whole closet. I could have it do 3 times a day, but you can't do over, I think it's over 9,000 items. 9,000 items a day. Posher has declared sharing as unnecessary. Searches by prevalence? You mean relevance? Really? We'll have to talk about that. I didn't know that because I probably never read read the notes from Poshmark. You love the sheep? Yeah, I like the sheep too because it's an animal. But they're very easy to do. They're just a glop of white, a triangle head, and sticks for legs. Yeah, easiest. Yeah, because if that's true, I wouldn't have to have Posher VA. Mm. Thank you, Bumblebee. Yes, we'll have to definitely talk about that. I'm practicing how the paints are reacting with the landscapes. I'm not really a landscape painter, but I will eventually get to the animals because that's what I like to do. Yeah. I also thought about whether these ship with me in the mornings. I don't know if they're doing anything for my YouTube channel. They may be because they're so often. Or whether it would be better just to, because I'm telling you the same thing on Sunday. It's just all at once what I sold all week. Uh, whether it would be better just to come on and talk about uh, there's some older lady like me on, I think she's on every day. She comes on in the morning and talks just about, she picks a subject and talks about this or that. And she has a good group. So I don't know how she's actually doing as far as YouTube goes. I'll have to look into that better. Whether it be better to do that or just to do these quick little 5-minute ship with me, which are very fast and very easy. I wish I had more to pack. I think people like to see you packing things. Oh, I got my bags, Bumblebee. I got my bags from for Poshmark. Let me show you what they look like. They look like paper, but they're not. They're poly bags, but they look like the paper bags, these brown bags. These are for Poshmark for Ground Advantage. So tomorrow I get to use it for the first time. Now you don't have to use these. You can use your own poly bags, you know, as long as it's not priority. So I get 50 of those free. We like to see you more often. Can you make the ship with me longer? You are so prepared ahead of time. Yeah, because when I don't have things prepared ahead of time, I fumble around so much. I hate to fumble around. So I like to have my labels made. I have to do that. I can't be over here doing that. Everything else I'm doing, I'm putting things in the bag and I'm putting the labels. Well, I could put the shipping label on. That's not that much more. And the stickers, I finally got my heart stickers, and they're not the right ones. They're the same, but look how small they are. These are half the size that I had before. I want the bigger ones. Now I'll use these. I'll just put 2 on instead of 1. Oh, they just say thank you. They're just easier to get off the roll than those little holograph ones. I had to wait so long for these, like 2 weeks. And then they came and they're the wrong size. But I don't send anything back, so. Yeah, I'd have to think about how to make my ship with me's longer. I'd love to make them longer because I was selling more. I was packing more. I could just talk about something else along with the shipping, I suppose. Pick a subject. Let me think about that. But I'll be on tomorrow to show you what I sold today. My Poshmark thing. I was hoping to get a sale, an eBay sale or another Poshmark sale, so I'd at least have two. I better go on and start listing. I do have 3 things to list. I have something that came back that has to be relisted because it didn't relist itself. And I have to, Samantha brought me a couple more things that I have to iron. And then I can list them. But I have to go and do the sell similar more. Send out more offers. Oh, my cat. Surprised she's not in here. Uh, my cat yesterday went to the vet and had her blood draw for her fructosamine, which is a test. It tests it tests for 1 or 2 months worth of sugar in there. I don't know how it does it, but yeah, does the same for humans. And they tell you an average of what your sugar is running. So hers came back for the second time in a row, like at normal range. So with the little bit of insulin she's getting, she's within normal range. And I'm thinking if the next time she comes back really good like that again, we may try her off of the insulin. She's only on 3 units, down from 6 units. So she's to stay on that, to eat about the same as she's eating. And yeah, so she's doing really well. I'd like to get her off of the insulin altogether, by just feeding her the correct amount. She was just eating the wrong things. If cats eat nothing but kibbles, a lot of them will turn out to get diabetes. Now, not every one of them. I think I've told you how many cats I've had in my lifetime. I've had a lot. And 2 of them ended up with diabetes. This one and another one. But the other one I had, her name was Squeaker. And she also had asthma. She had asthma really bad. She had to go to the emergency room several times with it. And the last time it was just too bad, and she never made it to the vet. And it was, of course, in the middle of the night, not in the middle of the night, but in the evening, in the winter, during a snowstorm. And the emergency clinic is in Akron. My sister was here. And we took her to the animal. She didn't make it that time. Yeah. So I think a long time ago, this is before we ever moved into this house. This is when my kids were little. I had a cat. I lost a cat once. It got hit by a car, and I lost a cat that had probably had asthma that I didn't know about. That was back when kids were little. I was working. It was a jungle. It was a zoo around my house. We had lots of animals. Thank you. I may end up using Posh VA. Never wanted to spend the money, but sharing individually is getting too much. Oh yeah, it's a huge amount. But Bumblebee says Poshmark says it's not necessary to share anymore. When buyers search, you want your items to be on top. So yes, sharing is still important. Yeah, I have to see what bumblebee means. It's like Mercari. I don't sell anything on Mercari because I don't do anything on there. I have things on Mercari, but unless I go on there and, you know, keep fussing with them to get things to the top, you're right. Nobody sees them. Riri, your husband does watercolor. uh, Tell him thank you. Thank him for me, for sure. Well, hopefully, I'll get better than this. Especially now that winter's coming and I'll be in the house a whole lot more. You have lots of traffic on Mercari? I know. I probably should go on there and start putting more things on. I don't have many things on. I don't know if I have 100 things on there or not. But maybe if I start fussing around on Mercari, because I can't really tell if I'm doing, if you're not doing anything, you're not doing anything. So I'm not going to sell anything unless I go on there and either list or relist. Yeah, Posher VA works really good. And you can have it do all kinds of things for you. So that is what I have. Tomorrow morning, I will get that ship with me on and think of something to make it a little longer because it's only one thing. Samantha came yesterday and we started, we decluttered the dining room because I'm going to have Thanksgiving. I always have the holidays here. So Thanksgiving, my kids are coming over. We're having dinner here. So the dining room had to be completely decluttered because it's one of the rooms that I sort of shove things, so we got that all cleaned out. She cleaned it really, really good. She'll clean it again the day before because she comes on Wednesdays. I thought in my mind, I was thinking next week is Thanksgiving and it's not till the week after. So I have an extra week. So basically, if I declutter, my kitchen, family room, and dining room is good. There's no decluttering these rooms. But nobody comes in here. We all stay out there. So that'll be a fun time. And then on Christmas Eve, when they all come over, my son will have his new puppy. He's getting a new little puppy Weimaraner. The the people that breed these dogs, they're in Pennsylvania. He has to go all the way to Waterford, Pennsylvania to pick it up sometime the second week in December. He'll pick it up, so it'll be just a tiny puppy. So they're going to bring it with them. So we'll get to see the little puppy on Christmas Eve. I'll take lots of pictures. They send him a picture every few days, it seems. Linda said it's once a week. They send pictures of your puppy once a week, because you have to tell them exactly what you want, and then your name is picked for the, because I think there were only 2 female puppies, and that's what they wanted. A darker one and the silver ghost one, and that's the one they want, the silver one. That's what all their Weimaraners have been. So they got the one silver puppy, and she's getting to be really cute right now. So that'll be a fun Christmas Eve with a new puppy. My grandson's birthday is right around Thanksgiving. It's the 25th of November, and Thanksgiving's this year is the 27th. So we have that to celebrate also for Thanksgiving. So he has his birthday party and Thanksgiving. And then when it's my son's birthday, his birthday's just 3 days before my birthday. So that's what we celebrate 2 birthdays at once on that day in May too. So kind of convenient. So I will think about doing some. Bumblebee's been trying to get me to be more active on Mercari also. I just feel very lazy. Yeah. So that is what I've been doing. And I will be on tomorrow morning and then back for sure on Sunday to show you everything I sold all week. So I'm hoping I do better. So thank you all for joining me. I have to go give my cat her supper. And I will see you then. Thank you for coming. Bye.